So, are you asking yourself, how can the real estate market boom when the coronavirus looms? Well, watch this video and you are about to find out. Hi, I'm Ann Milano, Associate Broker for Real Estate. So, here we go. The sky is falling, Chicken Little. What do? Well, you don't go running. You stand tall and you look at the facts. And the facts are that the sky is not falling, and right now might be the best time to buy real estate. And let me explain to you why. Number one, the stock market has taken a nosedive. And the stock market has taken a nosedive many times. Many times. This is the first time in the history of the stock market, I believe, that it is actually taking a actually, I don't believe that's true. I believe that there have been other times in the history of the market where some sort of a virus or whatever throughout, some sort of a disease has caused markets to tumble, world markets, different markets. It's never done it like it did this time, but it has done it in the past. And so in the past, when these things have happened, and I've never seen the market drop like it has like over the last 2 weeks, what do people do? Well, this is the first time that we've ever had, restricted travel, mandatory closing of businesses in the United States, something called social distancing will certainly contribute to lower consumer spending, which will in turn create a floundering economy for a short period of time. With that being said, once the government gets a handle on this very contagious virus and the economic stimulus package to compensate the people for having to shelter in place and stay home from work has been approved and hits the consumer, the dip in the stock market will be short-lived. The strength of our economy and consumer confidence going into this pandemic was excellent. I don't believe another recession is imminent. I could be wrong, of course, but if you look at the history of the stock market, the nosedive is due to an act of God, the coronavirus, and is not based on a bad economic foundation. Housing versus the stock market. Well, I believe why folks are currently a little jittery about the housing market is due to the financial crash of 2008. However, the problem that occurred in 2008 has absolutely nothing, and I repeat, it has absolutely nothing to do with what is happening in 2020. In 2008, and let me put it into, let's say, building terms. You cannot build a house without a foundation, and that is what happened in 2008. Mortgage portfolios were created on sand with no foundation. It was inevitable that eventually the banking bubble would pop and fail because there was no real foundation. It was all smoke and mirrors. The investment bankers created worthless portfolios of mortgages and then sold them off as prime investments. Their behavior was criminal. I mean, I don't know how more people in the banking industry didn't go to jail for what they did, because it truly was atrocious with what they did to investors with their smoke and mirror game that they were playing. That was just inevitably going to tumble. It took many years to fix their irresponsible behavior, and the crash of the stock market in 2007 was because of the mortgages surrounding the housing market. If you look at the history of the stock market crashing or correcting, the housing market usually does not take a hit. It was very unusual what happened in 2007 and 2008, and it took many years for that correction to be fixed. With many foreclosures and a variety of other things. Fast forward now to 2020. There is no problem with mortgages. Mortgages have been sold properly over the years since the banking correction. They have been based on good credit. They've been based on good down payments. They've been based on responsible ownership. The housing market, based on previous performances during stock market corrections, has in some cases, like in the crash of 2001, actually seen home prices rise. Yes, you heard me correctly. Home prices went up. That is correct. As a matter of fact, during the correction, some prices rose by 4% and actually remained relatively steady during the 3 other recessions over the past 50 years. What happened in 2008 was an anomaly. It was, in this humble real estate broker's opinion, it will never, and I repeat, never happen again as long as Congress and the banking industry does not ever pass laws that will allow people to obtain mortgages based on unverified applications again. That was just atrocious. But hopefully the banking industry and the investment bankers have learned their lesson and would never, ever, ever defraud the American people again with such bad banking practices. So what does this mean for buyers and sellers? Well, buyers, you are in a unique position right now. Number one, interest rates have been lowered to what, I think zero? The Fed took prime. That is unprecedented. I mean, unprecedented. And you, the consumer, as a buyer, will reap the rewards of that particular move by the federal government. Interest rates are at an all-time low. Money to borrow on a house is nothing. I mean, it's crazy. Why you wouldn't buy right now is insane. I mean, you need to immediately go out, find yourself a good real estate agent. Oh, hey, here's one right here. And get yourself into a house. Stop renting, stop overpaying for things, and get yourself into a house. Right now, based on interest rates, you can buy more house per dollar than you would have been able to 30 or 60 days ago. It's incredible what's going on. Sellers, let me address you now. Well, selling a house is a scary thing for most people at any time. And the truth of the matter is, right now is the best time for you to put your house on the market. Let me tell you why. Currently in Georgia, according to the Multiple Listings Service, we are down to less than 2 months worth of inventory. What does that mean for a seller? Well, what that means for a seller is that there's not a whole lot out there on the market, and there certainly isn't a whole lot of good stuff out there on the market. So when a good product hits the market, and that would take an expertise in a realtor to give you the idea of what needs to be done to make your house in the perfect condition for one buyer to go walking through and say, I want this. And they will pay top dollar for it when the condition is correct. With that being said, the stock market currently is in turmoil. The second thing is that investors look for a safe haven. They don't want to put their money in the stock market right now. They want to wait. They want to wait until the stimulus package hits the American population to inspire the economy to move. They want to wait till things settle down a little bit. They don't want to lose their investors' money. So what do they do with their investor money? They go into bonds and they go into, yes, you guessed it, real estate. This, sellers, is a perfect time for you to be on the market. However, how to sell your house safely right now, that's the trick. And in a pandemic where you're worried about germs, it becomes very interesting. The right realtor can help you know the tricks of how to get your house shown to the masses without ever having anyone go walking through your property. And I am here to tell you that over the course of the last 3 years, my group has put together a marketing campaign that is what we have been doing. We're going to add one more aspect to our marketing platform that will have to do with open houses. But other than that, we've been selling homes virtually now for the last 3 years. Just recently, I sold a house in South Carolina to a gentleman who lived in Nevada. We sent him our commercial on the property that we were moving for that particular seller. He took a look at it, did the walkthrough with the commercial, and fell in love with the house. He put a contract on the house that very day. The first time that gentleman ever saw the house was when he went to the home during the inspection, flew in for it, and then we went to closing. So with that being said, yes, things are changing dramatically in the way that we are doing business, but people are still in business. No, the sky is not falling. What's happening is just there's a change in the way that we will do business. If anything, this pandemic has done one thing for people globally, and that is to make them better about their personal cleanliness, shall we say. Washing your hands, making sure that you use soap and water. Make sure that you wash your hands for 20 minutes or 20 seconds to make sure that all the germs are cleared away. Doesn't take, hand sanitizer every 10 seconds. What it takes is a good hand washing. The second thing is don't touch your face. Listen to the guidelines. Doctors for years, in order not to catch viruses and bacteria and all kind of stuff in hospitals, use their sleeve to open doors. They don't use their hands on anything, and they certainly don't touch their faces. Don't think for 1 minute that I am downplaying the severity of what the coronavirus is or the contagiousness of it. It is extremely contagious. However, with the right person marketing your property, you should be able to sell your house to a person sight unseen through the power of technology and what today has to offer. With that, I am going to sign off, and I'm going to tell you to stay well. Don't delay. Call, text me, call me, email me at annmilano@gmail.com for more information about all things real estate and how to get your house sold in a pandemic. It just takes a little ingenuity, cleanliness, and making sure that both the buyer and seller are safe during the process. Thanks for stopping by, and please read the blog that's attached to this video. It's probably a lot more easy to read than it was to listen to me rant and rave for the last, 10 or 15 minutes about this craziness that's going on. May God bless us all and keep us all safe. Thank you for stopping by, and here's to good buying and selling over the course of the next 6 months. Thank you.